This will be part 5 of the Hunt Me series, so I can find my sister, by Lydia the Goddess, Lola Soel, and the dragon called Shero. Shota walks into the conference room at the last minute. Everyone but his agency is already assembled inside, seemingly nervous at the sight of the 2 empty chairs. The other pros are aware of how much he dislikes bringing children into the field. Bringing in a work-study student none of them have heard of, the fear is justified. Especially with Midoriya being who he is, a genius with personas that can fool even seasoned pros. Eraser, you're here. Can we start now? Nighteye sounds aggravated. His passive-aggressive attitude has been a thorn in Netsu's paw for quite a few days already. Ever since Midoriya's contract was terminated through the school. Mirio was restricted in his contract with Nighteye through the demand of a second pro hero to observe every interaction between the two. Shota hides a grin in his scarf. I would wait until you have reviewed this file. It was dropped off in my mailbox last night with a note. It's good intel on the Shihisaikai. Secure source. Carefully he slides the beige folder over the table until it comes to a stop only a few centimeters away from Night-Eye's hand. Blue fingers grasp the paper and Bubble Girl lets out a gasp. Sir! We can make a move the moment the commission gives a green light. This is everything from guard rotations, blueprints, additional bases, locations of emergency vehicles. How did you get this, Eraser? The young heroine asks, her eyes fixating on Shota's face while the man still looks at Sir. The hero in question takes the file, his eyes growing wide behind his glasses. He does a double take, and yellow eyes meet black. Who gave this to you? What is their price? Midoriya places a note in his hand, a small something they had prepared during lunch with Sasashi while going over the plan to take over the raid without raising suspicion. According to the note, it's a gift from the Akatani family. They want the girl to be saved. There's a flash of interest in the golden eyes while the rock log sits up straighter. We got help from the Akatanis in this? Which one? Could Laura come by at the last minute and take out Overhaul too? The log hero asks, almost excited. Shota nods towards his intern, who gives a bright smile before starting his report. Sadly, if Laura were to try to destroy Overhaul's central nervous system the way she did with Alpha One, Overhaul could destroy and rebuild his body faster than she could pull out a piece of his spine. In addition, the raid would have to take place at night, meaning the students wouldn't be allowed to participate even in rescue efforts or perimeter security. While one Akatani is capable of taking down a lot of small-time thugs, it took a team to pull off what they did at Kamino. Asu's startled croak interrupts the kid and allows him a moment to breathe. Shota recognizes the look of anger in Sir's eyes and smirks to himself. My calculations predict at least 3 people were involved in the takedown there. Therefore, either a League member or Bakugo Katsuki are Nakatani. While I would find it incredibly ironic, a Akatani infiltrating the League is far more likely than my childhood friend being part of an ancient underground family that tries to prevent abuse and trafficking. One of the armrests in the room shatters in Kirishima's grip. Kamino is still a sensitive topic for him, as for his entire class. It stands out that Kirishima still stress grips the closest object in his hardened hand when the topic comes up. He would have to speak to Inori about it soon. Maybe Shota is a sadist, but nothing can beat the pro's look of surprise in the room. So he seems to see the kid for the first time properly, as do the other people present. If Shota recognizes the swearing voices and the fired-off quirks correctly, he suppresses the proud smile his face wants to morph into. But he can't stop himself from ruffling the green curls in appreciation, rewarding the kid for a job well done. Midoriya, when did you get here? Mirio finds his voice first. Seems like Shota owes the kid a jelly pouch. He had predicted Nejire would speak up before the blonde could gather his courage again. His mouth twitches, the grin his classes all know and fear spreading across his face. He's my intern. He knows stealth. I expected better from my old students. Situational awareness is an important skill you should have kept. Midoriya walked in right behind me. Sir pales, recognizing one of the reasons why he should have been nicer to the kid. My quirk is called Alpha One. is an energy stockpiling quirk that grows in power over time. It's currently about 200 years old, had 8 holders before I received it from All Might, and it's haunted. But it's a quirk that can't be stolen. Sir Nighteye knows about it, as do Recovery Girl Netsu, Gran Torino, and Detective Scrouchy. Sir doesn't approve of me as All Might's successor, because I'm no All Might. He would have preferred Mirio to get a power-up. The risk of the quirk killing Mirio because of the overlap and opposition between permeation and One for All didn't occur to him, or he just didn't care. Besides my mother and Katchan, you two are the only people I have revealed the true origin of my quirk to. But it is what makes Nezu break rules to keep me in his school, why All Might tries to groom me into becoming the next symbol of peace, and why Nighteye tried to break my spirit. The problem child just smiles brightly. Sneaking in here was fun. It's good to revisit skills like this on a regular basis. Can't get rusty, you know. The pure innocence he radiates is so exaggerated, sure to feel something inside him cringe. It was odd to see the Deku persona, or the Yamikumo persona, once he met the actual Midoriya Izuku, who didn't have to fake anything. Greenie, I will never get used to you not being snaggy in my classes. It is so weird to see the persona acting without any visual indicators besides your behavior. I mean, it explains how you get all the good gossip, but it's so much more comfortable to be around the real you, Yadik. The kid really combined the best of Hisashi and Shoda in himself. Shoda's fight and determination with Hisashi's smarts and acting. And sometimes it almost hurts to see Midoriya not as theirs. Not with skills learned from them, but from his actual parents. From a support technician and a vigilante. He fights against an exhausted Sai just as his problem child gives his knee a comforting squeeze. Midoriya is good at reading him, knowing that he is upset by something. Just what exactly the kid never guessed. No, his self-esteem is too low to actually imagine being wanted by someone who didn't know him all his life, but saw all his facets anyway. Saw beyond the persona. I'll miss the hunts, but Yugure is more important. The rules will always be more important than enjoyment. The kid was always ready to sacrifice himself, smart enough to ensure victory, but with too little self-perseverance to not see himself as an acceptable sacrifice. Who said the hunt is over? Knowing your identity just means we can go out into the city for a bigger and real scenario, while I have a way to contact you in case of emergency. Obsidian meets Emerald, and a small, comforting smile covers the hero's face. His kid was here after all, by his side, confiding in him, fighting by his side. You will see, Nighteye. Midoriya is far beyond a powerful quirk. He doesn't even need it to be a threat. Sashi, please say he's ours, our work child. I need to know you feel the same need to protect and nurture him. Greenie's our son, show. Greenie's our show, our kid. At UA, he's under our protection. So what's the plan for taking down Overhaul? We have a tracker on the girl. We just need a strategy for the villains. Izuku fiddles with his costume cuffs nervously. It had taken 4 days until the HPSC gave the all-clear for the raid and the collaboration of multiple agencies. 2 weeks since Izuku first met Eri. 14 days of planning, preparation, and mind games. Toya had reported Togan twice to be in the compound. Spies for Shigaraki. Ordered not to engage in combat with the heroes. He knows Shigaraki had been trained in the Akatani ways, but previously it hadn't seemed like he respected the rules the family taught their members from the beginning of their life. A flicker of hope blooms in Izuku's chest. If he could only find out who Shigaraki used to be, he could look into the archives, find out who trained him, what name was intended for the child Shigaraki had been. Nighteye leads the charge with Mirio by his side, taking up attention for Izuku and Aizawa to sneak into the building and hopefully get to Eri before Chisaki did. The display his father had integrated into his gloves showed minimal movement from the girl. Showing her still in the cell they determined to be her room. 2 weeks of tracking Eri's movements had given Izuku a good schedule to plan with. Times where Eri wouldn't be bothered, shortly after a lab visit for her. The perfect moment to interrupt Overhaul from doing whatever he wanted to do with her, and the pieces he took from her. He feels himself shift into his Mikomo persona. His movements becoming more fluid, subtle, letting him blend into the background. Eraserhead follows his lead as they get into a corridor, leading to the hallway between Eri's room and the laboratory, placing themselves as a barrier between Overhaul and Eri if they are fast enough. Despite the lowered morale in Overhaul's men, causing fewer Yakuza members to be present and fighting than if Mikamo hadn't gotten Dahlia and Nogureru to approach the older participants, hadn't convinced most of the Shihisaikai to not fight the heroes when they come to cast judgment for the disrespect of the underground rules. The two fight their way through small groups of villains, most of them just holding up their hands in surrender when they notice the pair. Rocklock and Nighteye catch up to them quickly, though Fat Gum and Kirishima are still held up in a battle Mimic has forced them into. Willing himself back into Izuku, into Deku, he keeps moving, watching his own signal get closer to the blinking dot of Eri's tracker. He watches as it moves slightly, but stays in the room. A few turns later, Mimic splits the group apart, and pairs them up against a wild, grinning Toka Himiko.
Izu-kun, it's so good to see you here. Shiki will be so jealous he didn't get to fight you.
She bounces up and down on the balls of her feet, her smile close to mania on par with the pitch of her voice. Yet her pupils have barely dilated, and there is no blade in her hands. He holds out a hand to hold the razor in his preparations to attack. Hello, Himiko. It's good to see you under better circumstances. I imagine Blood Frenzy to be quite taxing, and you were very out of it at the licensing exam. Which one works better for you, cow or pig? Or do you perhaps steal from a bank? Izuku shifts his weight onto his left leg, the one closer to Eraser to keep himself mobile, yet his stance suggests relaxation. Immediately the bouncing stops and the grin fades. How do you know I was in a frenzy? Did someone tell you? Does it mean you will hurt me too? Her eyes widen and her pupils shrink in fear. Toka's voice quivers slightly, even as she digs her nails into her fist to suppress the audible reaction. Eraser relaxes his stance. The scarf is still in his hand, but not fluttering and ready to coil around the target. Mikamo smiles sharply while averting his eyes from her, analyzing her only in his periphery. My brother is in the league. You told me about you coming to the exam. It's why I knew not to let you draw any blood from me. His eyes lift to meet hers. The smile widens into a grin. But the time we spent there together, I figured out your quirk. Blood-reliant quirks make the user dependent on blood too. Your teeth never change with your appearance. It's how I could identify you and your quirk. The uncaring persona falls away to reveal his true emotions. The smile turns soft and warm. So I told my brother to get you a steady blood supply to suppress your frenzy, so you could choose what to do and not just follow your nose to the closest body. You're free now, Himiko. You can turn yourself in and get rid of all the crimes connected to your name. You can get help. It wasn't your fault. Yellow eyes fill with tears as the tremor in her voice gets stronger. Promise to save me? He nods. I promise. Ask for Tsukauchi Naomasa at the police station and request Midoriya Inko as your lawyer. Those two can make sure your parents get punished for the torture they put you through. They can prove that you had no choice, you weren't in control. The knife flings forward, almost making contact with Izuku's shoulder. Covered in green lightning, he twists out of the way and catches the blade. Like an insult, he throws it to the floor, embedding the blade in it. He tisks. Now, Himiko. That isn't how we treat our friends. I know my brother taught you better than that. She grits her teeth and flashes her fangs. I'll go down fighting. There's no other way. No matter who your brother is, the League at least sees me as a person. They want me. The knives in her hands tremble. Her grip is slightly off and her knuckles white. I have no reason to trust you or your family. Family only ever disappointed me. Tears spill from Topa's eyes and Izuku's eyes. Eraser, can you see the sun? We need a code. Something to signal if I should or shouldn't fight in the Akatani style. Next to him, the pro-hero grimaces. It's still daytime, Deku. Why not use underground code? Daytime and nighttime. Daytime for civilian identities, nighttime for underground identities. It's a code you can use with every person who knows. Izuku pouts. Fine, I guess I have to do this Deku style then. So how do we communicate that? I ask for the time? The position of the sun? He rushes forward, covered in green light, deflecting all of Toga's weak attempts to stab him. He notices her only ever aiming for his arms, legs, and sides. Never any fatal locations. Like she wants him alive. You know about the underground? What rules they work with? Those rules kept you alive for years now, Toga. The rules of the Akatanis. The rules I was raised and trained with. Her eyes flash with recognition and understanding. The tension leaves her body. Ask if the other person can see the sun. It's a question that can be asked at any time. The answer can then determine what persona to use. It's obvious to be a code, but the meaning of it beats most people that hear it. He catches Toga's wrists in a move Uraraka had taught him. With enough pressure on her wrist, she lets go of the blade, allowing Izuku to safely push her closer to Aizawa, letting the pro wrap her in his capture scarf. Go ahead, problem child. I'll make sure she gets into police custody. I'll catch up with you before you know it. Obsidian locks with emerald. Izuku feels the fear in his chest rise. Feels the self-doubt gnaw at him. Do you see the sun, Eraser? A soft smile plays on his teacher's lips. I see it when you smile, kid. But right now it feels like it's night time. No sun in sight. The reassuring words let all the insecurities in his heart mellow down as his confidence gets exaggerated by the release of his Mikumo persona. Channeling one for all throughout his body, he runs. Eri is scared. Always so scared. The moment she wasn't scared was when she wasn't Eri. When strong warm hands held her. When Mikumo was there for her and she was Yugure. It makes sense to Eri. Like the boy had said, Mikumo is a dragon, and dragons protect. He said Yuguro can be a dragon too, but Eri is a unicorn. Mikumo had told her that too. She can't protect herself, even if her being would stop the curse. She feels a lightness in her chest at a thought. Chisaki must be confused by how unicorns work, because he likes to make people get cursed by making Eri hurt. Carefully, Eri traces her fingers over the little chip Mikumo had given her. She had felt it in the cup, and had seen it after Chisaki took her apart and put her back together. Of course, Eri had stolen the gift from Mikumo, not letting Chisaki have the one thing she could keep from Mikumo besides the memories of feeling safe and warm. The door of her cell opens. A blonde girl with fangs stands in the doorway. Her voice is a creepy sing-song that makes Eri shiver. The heroes are coming. Hide under the bed for Birdie for me, will ya? When you're out of here and get scared, give us a loud whistle. The league will help you if you do that, okay? We don't like people that hurt little kids. Eri nods, feeling hope rise in her chest. Thank you. The girl smiles. It is not the mean smile she had when Eri saw her the first time. The smile is soft, nice, safe. Anytime, Pumpkin. Now make this as hard as you can for Overhaul so the heroes can take him down. Deal? She confirms again. The blonde girl is a bit like Mikumo. It feels like she wouldn't hurt Eri, not let her get hurt. Then the door gets closed. Not fully. Just enough to not lock. It's just enough to look like Eri got out. And if Chisaki thinks Eri ran away again, maybe he won't look as hard in her room. The girl with the sharp teeth had said that, at least. And Eri is good at listening. She likes to listen to safe people. She also listens to Chisaki to know when she can get away from him. And the scary nice girl wants to help her get away from Chisaki and to save people. She crumples up her blanket to look like her body is under it. Then she crawls under the bed, shuffling as far into the shadows as she can. Shivers of anticipation wreck her body while she tries to keep her breathing shallow and soundless. She makes herself small to hide the tremors in her hands. The chip from Mikumo is cradled against her chest as she hopes for the boy in green to come to her. The door bursts open. Chisaki's shoes pace through the room, ripping her blanket off the bed. The man screams. Eri had to push down a scared whimper. Who left the door to the cell open? Eri got out again. If the heroes get to her before I do, I will disassemble everyone on the guard detail limb by limb, over and over, until everyone here is aware of their tasks and finishes them to my satisfaction. She doesn't want anyone to be taken apart, but going to Chisaki now will make the nice blonde girl get hurt. And maybe Mikumo can make sure Chisaki stops hurting people. When he had found Eri and made her Yugure, Chisaki hadn't hurt her for over a day. And since then, he also touches her less often, allows her to walk by herself or be carried by chronostasis. Anything was better than Chisaki carrying her. Eri squeezes her eyes shut. Maybe she can't see Chisaki, then she doesn't have to be so scared. If she can't see him, maybe her body won't give away where she is. She could stay still and wait until Mikumo comes and calls her Yugure again. Chisaki's footsteps are getting quieter. Then the door shuts, the lock clicking. Not fully locked, but enough for her to not get out. Enough for her to hear someone coming in too. Her body relaxes, tension leaving her arms and legs. It becomes easier to breathe. Her small hands pulled the blanket that Chisaki had dropped close to her. She bundles herself up in it to protect her from the cold. It isn't as warm and comfortable as Mikumo's arms, and his jacket, but it is better than nothing, better than shivering. So she waits, and waits, and waits, until a boy falls from her ceiling. Deku, this is Lemillion. Confirmation about proximity to the tracker? Over. The boy with the red cape looks around her room, opening the closet and the small bathroom area. Are you sure the tracker kept moving with her? I can't see her, but I think this is her room. She might have lost it here. He seems to be talking to someone about something she has, but she has nothing apart from the small chip Mikumo gave her. Could the chip be what the boy is looking for? No, Deku, I'm telling you, I looked everywhere. In her closet, in her bathroom, Eri isn't here. Overhaul must have gotten to her and evacuated before I could get to her. He waits for a moment, standing still, then he crouches with a sigh. Blue eyes fixate on her. She's under the bed. She still has your tracker with her. You're right. Now what's your ETA? Hiding or waiting in place? He waits for a moment. Okay, I'll hide in the wall and wait for everyone coming by. See you in a few. The boy leaves her room, and Eri stays behind. She waits again. Then the door clicks open and a pair of black boots come into her field of vision. The person wearing the boots crouches down. A gloved hand is placed palm side up on the floor. A green jumpsuit comes into view. Hello, Yugure. Want to come out and get away from here? Yugure rushes forward, tackling Mikumo in a hug. You came back! You came! I was so scared! But I knew you'd come and protect me. The body under her vibrates softly as he speaks. Of course I came. You're my little Yugure, my family. The wall on the other side of her bed crumbles. Oh, isn't that just an adorable reunion? So sorry to break it up, but Eri is needed elsewhere. Chisaki's voice is cold and hard. She feels herself cowering in fear again from it. Arms tighten around her. Too bad, Chisaki. I warned you. You didn't listen. Yugure is not coming back with you. Not now. Never again. A gun in Chisaki's hand clicked. The girl, now, or your quirk will be gone forever. Mikumo shows his teeth as he pulls Yugure behind himself. Try it, Overhaul. He lights up with green sparks around his body, just as the gun makes a loud sound, hitting Mikumo in the chest. Eri screams. The sparks die down. Mikumo falls into himself, but his hand on her arm is steady. I said give me the girl. And I told you to try. Mikumo jumps forward to attack. Pain of getting shot lets Mikumo's grip on One for All falter. The green light falters, just how harming himself with it always deactivated it instantly. With this in mind, Mikumo believes the pain from aggravating his injury that gave All Might his time limit. Not One for All dying out within him. Lemillion, get her out of here! Pain courses through his veins. The quirk-infused bullet searching for his quirk factor to rewind it out of existence. And what an interesting concept it is. to program a virus to find and latch onto the quirk gene, and then to channel Ares' powers through it to reverse the gene out of existence. Too bad Izuku never had a quirk gene. Too bad One for All thrums under his skin, presses down on his bones, buzzes with anger and righteous fury. Too bad the quirk erasing bullets aren't like erasure, and simply disable neurological quirk access and activation, instead completely eradicating the quirk. Too bad all these little things make Izuku immune to the bullets. He lunges forward, keeping the quirk deactivated until he almost touches Chisaki. Mid-jump, he twists his body from a tackle to a kick from the side, green energy surrounding him again. The sudden light startles Overhaul, leaving him open to attack. How? I made them perfect. Your quirk gene is supposed to be gone. Izuku grins. Mikumo and Izuku meld into one for a moment as he enjoys the fear in Chisaki's golden eyes. Funny, you assume I have a quirk gene. Never heard of a non-genetic quirk? Going for genes was the wrong path, Overhaul. The Yakuza boss scrambles backwards. No, impossible. You're a hero. No hero would take a power from All for One. Not to attack me. I'm allied with the League. Mikumo chuckles coldly. Oh, how adorable! You believe All for One is the only one with a quirk like that. His body keeps dodging and attacking Overhaul in the Akatani style. One for All making him brighter, faster, stronger. I must disappoint you, Chisaki. This quirk was returned to me and my family recently, after 8 generations of power build-up. He smiles lazily. Not that I complain, after all. It is an ancestor of mine who lost her quirk. Had to see it forced onto her husband. You know, ever since then, my family has been rather vengeful towards people who don't respect consent and hurt children. It's what makes the Akatanis a group of people who watch all the happenings in the underground, no matter how weak their quirk. It is why we descend on people like you, without judgment. The black-gloved hand grips Overhaul's beaked mask and rips it away. At the same time, a one-for-all powered kick to the chest propels Izuku into a backflip while Chisaki is launched through a wall, directly before the feet of Sir Nighteye, Rocklock, and Eraserhead. Izuku throws the mask aside while he casually strolls towards the downed villain. You're interrupting my monologue, he pouts at the pros. Eraser rolls his eyes at Izuku. Kid, are you sure you aren't using excessive force? He just came through a wall. Grinning, Izuku joins the banter. He's still conscious and he hasn't surrendered yet. Also, he shot me, which honestly hurts like a bitch. If I wasn't used to immense pain from blowing my own bones to bits, I don't think I could keep my quirk up. But I was right about me being immune to the drugs. Just like quirk suppressing bullets, they target quirk genes. The boy activates his quirk again, showing the lightning that represented the power. Overhaul screams in terror. Stop him! He's a monster! Mikumo gestures to the villain. See? Totally delusional. Not that we weren't aware, but it's just plain rude now. He crouches down in front of the panicked man. Quick jabs break his arms before he picks him up by the collar. I'm not a monster, Chisaki. To you, I might be a god, so you can stop pretending to be one. Unfortunately for you, I'm fresh out of mercy. He giggles before flinging Overhaul down a corridor. Within seconds, he follows, pulling and throwing the Yakuza boss around at high speeds. Chisaki's blood splatters on his face as Mikumo breaks his face repeatedly. The no-move from the USJ has nothing on him in terms of viciousness. Desperation and fear let Overhaul activate his quirk in spite of the broken and disfigured arms. His body tears itself apart and heals itself, but the panic of the action lets a crater burst open, creating an arena for Chisaki and Mikumo. The boy takes a running leap, a flurry of green following him. The wings of lightning lifts him into the air, as he once more descends on his prey, ready to break himself just to stop Chisaki from ever breaking anyone else again. Miku! The voice of a little girl carries through the air, while his fist hits Overhaul's solar plexus. stunning him for a moment. Her figure of white, surrounded by yellow light, runs up to the brim of the crater. She's panicked, worried for Izuku, and her quirk, Rewind, is activated, and she stumbles over the edge. According to some of the older members, she never learned proper quirk control. If we can teach her control, she could become a massive help for us. Rewinding a body to a state prior to injury, limb loss, even aging could be slowed down. She could take away my chronic pain. The injuries from the USJ, All Might's organ loss and failure, all of it erased with just a touch. But it also means that causing injury as fast or faster than her rewind can cancel her quirk, making her a non-threat. So instead of focusing on his enemy, Izuku focused on the rescue. Still tailed by lightning, he jumps, enveloping the girl in a tight hug. Slowly, the crooked bones under his skin shift back into their natural position, getting rid of all the damage Izuku had given himself during the sports festival. His eyes focus on the scar along his arms, when he had broken himself to defeat Kachan, a scar that marked a sign of victory, with one for all. A scar that gets darker the longer Rewind is active. Izuku starts to counteract Iri's quirk immediately. The percentage of one for all is rising in his body that isn't used to the quirk beyond 5% anymore. 20% rips his muscles and joints apart as fast as Rewind heals them. Izuku holds his sister close to himself. His healed hands draw circles into her back. Yugure, I'm here, you're okay, you're safe. The girl sobs and cries, her hands fisting into his costume.
He'll take your part. You made him angry. He'll hurt you, make you never come back again.
He grits his teeth.
You'll try. Do you want to help me? With you I'm definitely stronger than him.
Ruby eyes lift.
Promise?
Emerald meets them.
Come, see for yourself.
He rips his sleeves and ties Eri to his back with them, tied against his body. The girl is safe, enveloped in the green field that surrounds Izuku as if to accept her as a part of him. Green mixes with yellow, and one for all rises to 30%. The pair meets Overhaul, who had used the time to turn himself into a monster of the restrained Yakuza members near the arena and debris. Like a comet hitting the earth, Izuku hits the villain Chimera. Sparks of Iri's power start to make the abomination fall into pieces. Unconscious men get thrown out of the monstrous creature Overhaul turned himself into, until only one quirk is left once more. Izuku beats him down towards the earth, where he can see the teacher waiting, watching. In his fall, Izuku removes Eri from his back, hugging her close to his chest again.
We beat him, Yugure. We won. Together. You were amazing.
His body curls around her protectively as his back hits the ground, ripping open the street. Rewind negates all damages, leaving the siblings unharmed. Izuku keeps trying to soothe Eri, upping the percentage of one for all continuously to not lose the power. Every moment rips his limbs apart, but he keeps going anyways, not willing to let his sister spiral on her own. So he waits, tearing himself apart just to not stop being. Close to 80%, his quirk suddenly vanishes, along with the glow of Rewind. The red light of erasure lets Izuku sag into himself.
Sensei, you're here. Can you see the sun?
A warm and deep chuckle envelops him. Yeah, kid, I see the sun. It's daytime. You can rest now. A grey scarf binds Eri to him, securing their contact just as Izuku falls into Aizawa's waiting arms. Warmth and safety hold him, lift him as he snuggles closer. His ear is pressed into Aizawa's chest, listening to his heartbeat. Another amused vibration fills his head. Sleep, problem child. I've got you. It's over. Tomura looks down at the Yakuza boss on the gurney in front of him. His body is littered in bruises and cuts. His eyes are distant. Oh, Overhaul! Who's ruling the underground now? A chuckle escapes him, just as Compress takes Overhaul's left arm. Look at you, all broken and helpless. Pathetic. His lips rip from tension as he smiles. Why are you doing this? The imprisoned asks, his voice all small and defeated, recognizing himself at the mercy of a higher power. Another laugh spills from Tomura's mouth. You were in my way, and you did something I don't approve of. Tell me, how is the girl? Golden eyes widen in surprise and fear. You're one of them? You're one too? Just like the bastard who took her from me. 3 of his fingertips stroke Overhaul's right arm as realization dawns on him. Akatani's, he breathes. They have been stepping more into the daylight the past month, reminding the world of their existence. You know, for a man who hates quirks, you seem to have one quirk too many, and using it to hurt a child, no less. Tomura shakes his head as all 5 of his fingers make contact. Overhaul screams in terror and pain, until Tomura cuts the appendage off. Just as he moves to get up, a whimper stops him. Why? Tomura clicks his tongue. My mother was an Akatani. He pauses, watching as Overhaul flinches. But All for One taught me most of my life. Giggling, he adds, be a dear. Greet the bastard from Hestia and I when you see him in Tartarus. After one last pat on the cheek, he leaves the man behind for the heroes to find. And that was the end of part 5. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you to the authors for letting me podfic this. As always, there is a link in the description that you should go check out. And anyways, have a very nice rest of your day.